Hello, welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio, episode 238. Now the title is Want to Feel Great About Your Projects? Consider these 3 criteria. Now, I'll give you the 3 criteria right now because I know you might be thinking, I don't want to listen to the whole podcast just to get the 3 criteria. So I'll give them to you now. But then I hope that you will listen to more of the podcast because the context will mean a lot. Okay, so here's the 3 criteria just to go quickly and then I'll go back to the introduction. Number 1 is I'm doing the project because I actually want to do it. Number 2 is the next action is clearly identified. And number 3, I don't have too much on my plate. Now, if you can say all 3 of those things about your projects, the likelihood you're going to feel great about what you're working on goes sky high. So I'll pause for a moment and introduce myself to those who are new. Here at Learn, Do, Become Radio, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life, maybe drowning in piles, maybe just having lots of clutter, maybe having a mind that's swirling. And we help those people, maybe you, to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. I want you to feel connected to your family and have great relationships. I want you to have wonderful self-care. I want you to feel connected to your higher power and know that you're living your purpose each day and just to wake up excited and go to bed content. And if right now you think, it's not possible for me to wake up excited and go to bed content because I have 1,000 things to do and my house is a mess and I have so much going on, then what we do here at Learn, Do, Become, I believe will change your life. And I'm so glad that you're here. Okay. So the whole reason I'm talking about these 3 criteria and the topic about, feeling great about our projects is because I've been reading Ali Abdaal's book, Feel Good Productivity. It's a great read, by the way. And right at the beginning of his book, he shares why our emotions matter when we're trying to get things done. And I'm just going to give a few takeaways from just the first few pages of the book. Okay, so I just have a little bulleted list, and it's here on the show notes page if you want to read it as well. But first, when we're feeling good, our minds open up, we take in more information, and we see more possibilities around us. Just one quick example, I was walking by a hotel lobby the other day, and you know how they have all those little cards of things you can do in your area, all the fun activities and, bike tours or whatever. And I was actually going through the lobby of a hotel in my own city, and I thought, you know what, let me just look at all of these ideas and cards because I don't have to go on a vacation to have fun if there are a lot of fun things to do around here as well. So I started looking through the cards and I came back, home with, 10 cards of things that I would love to do with Eric or their family and friends. And the reason my mind was even open to that is because I was feeling good. My mind felt calm. I was feeling engaged with my projects, but not overwhelmed. And I had all these positive feelings. So I thought, oh yeah, my mind is open to new ideas. So that's just one example. Another thing in Ali's book is when we experience positive emotions, we build up a reservoir of mental and emotional resources that can help us in the future. Resources like resilience, creativity, problem-solving skills, social connections, and physical health. And I love that concept of building up a reservoir because we all know how it feels to be depleted. And I've spoken several times on this podcast about how I went through several years of sickness. And it wasn't just because I was catching things or there were more germs in the world. I really felt like my boundaries and my immune system were linked. And when I didn't have good boundaries and I wasn't feeling great about the things I was doing, then my immune system just became weaker. And I had a lot of stress and a lot of challenges. It's been so fun. I'm recording this podcast in, late May 2024. I haven't been sick at all this year. And I'm not saying I'll never get sick, but it's just made such an impact on me to make that switch. So these positive emotions do help with a reservoir for your physical health, your mental health, the ability to, be creative, all that. Another thing he shares is that positive emotions change the way our brains operate. Step 1 is feeling better. Step 2 is doing more of what matters to us. And I love that because you've probably noticed this in your own life that when you feel really great, when an opportunity comes to you, you actually consider it, right? Or you feel a little bit happier, or maybe you're a little less annoyed by people, and you actually start moving forward on your projects or cleaning the house or, building those relationships, whatever it is. So I love that. Another one is feeling good boosts our energy. Positive emotions are bound up with a set of 4 hormones: endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, which are often labeled as the feel-good hormones. All of them allow us to accomplish more. I learned a lot about these hormones from Simon Sinek. 2 books I love of his are Start With Why and Leaders Eat Last. I think it was Leaders Eat Last that goes deep into the brain chemistry. But what I love about that is when you can actually see that positive emotions aren't just, something really theoretical. They actually are then in your body as chemicals, and that actually makes an impact in the virtuous cycle that we want to create. And I am trying to be careful about not saying, we need to accomplish more, but a lot of people are coming to Learn, Do, Become because they find that they're just spinning in circles and not getting things done that they really do want to do. So I think the more we can focus on building this energy and reducing our stress and having all this awesome internal motivation, the more we're going to see that our lives start becoming something that we really do wake up excited to live. And the final one I'll share from Ali Abdaal's book is success doesn't lead to feeling good. Feeling good leads to success. And I hope that that feels empowering for you, because if you think that you're only going to feel good once you, earn that money, lose that weight, make that person change, buy that house, go on that vacation, get all this external validation, whatever that is, then that puts you kind of in a sad spot, because you just feel like, well, if those things don't happen, then I will just never be happy. Sometimes it's really easy to look around at all the people who we see as successful and think, well, yeah, of course they feel good, because look at that. Look at all they have. Look at all they've done. They must feel so good every day. But really, I think when we look at it the other way, feeling good leads to success. You can see that if you can put effort and energy into doing things that help you to feel good today, not only are you going to feel good, but now you're going to be able to have that success that you want. Anyway, I've seen that in my own life over and over again. And anytime I put my happiness as something conditional on something else happening, especially somebody else making a decision, I'm just setting myself up for a lot of frustration. So learning how to feel good now, oh man, it's amazing. And I'll put some links in the show notes as well to a couple of podcasts I've done regarding cognitive behavioral therapy, because that's been huge for me and has made such a difference, where honestly, I was telling Eric the other day, I don't feel any anxiety. I used to feel a lot of anxiety, and now I just don't. And I'm not saying I never will ever again. And there may be new things that come up that are hard that I need to figure out, but I feel like I have the tools now. So it's just been like this transformation. So those are a few takeaways from Ali Abdaal's book that I really enjoyed, and I hope that they're helpful to you, and hope you'll check out his whole book, the audio or the printed copy. They're awesome. But one thing I really want to emphasize as I'm talking about, this book, Feel Good Productivity, and I talk about our program, Steps to Everyday Productivity, and today I'm talking about feeling great about our projects, I just want to make sure I'm clear that I don't believe the end goal is productivity, because there's no increase in innate personal value for whoever accomplishes the most tasks or makes the most money or becomes the most famous. However, I do think we would all agree that life feels happier and more meaningful when we can actually do things that matter to us. So I'll stop on that for today, but I just want to emphasize that, because I used to be so addicted to achievement, and now I'm not, and I'm so much happier, and I'm still getting things done, but not in the frenetic way I used to. So now let's get back to the 3 criteria that we're going to cover today. These 3 things really do help me feel great about my projects. And I listed them at the beginning, but now I'll go a little more in depth. So criteria number 1 is I am doing the project because I actually want to do it. Now you might be thinking, well, obviously, April, why would you do a project you don't want to do? But if you've ever been a people pleaser, or you've done a project that wasn't in alignment with your values, or you were doing a project because you felt like you just had to, someone was making you, you had no other choice, it's a really hard place to be. So when I say I actually want to do this project, that means I'm not being a people pleaser. The project is in alignment with my values. The project is going to bring me closer to the goals I have set and the person I want to become, and I feel excited about the outcome. Now, this doesn't mean that the project is necessarily fun. Like, for example, we needed to refinish our entire main floor last year because of a water leak, and that wasn't enjoyable. Eric handled most of it, which was amazing, but it was still a big project. However, we wanted to do it because we wanted a leak-free kitchen floor, and we were excited to have our home repaired and back in order. So when it came time to move all the furniture into other parts of the house, and we couldn't put any rugs or mats down for like 6 months while the floor, cured or whatever it was, and we had to move our family out for a few days, and there are all these things that we had to do while we got this floor repaired. Yes, that wasn't fun, but I did actually want to do it because it was necessary. And if you are working at a company that's giving you projects, you might say, oh, I don't want to do these projects. Well, but if you want the paycheck that comes with it and the benefits of having employment, well, then yes, you do want to do it. I would just caution you not to take on projects that aren't essential to your well-being or your employment. Don't take on projects just because somebody's saying, hey, you better do this, or you should do this, or only good people do this project, or whatever. Sometimes there's just things that I do that I never wanted to do in the first place, and that turned in a lot of problems. So if you can learn from my mistakes, I think that would benefit you. All right, the second criteria is that the next action is clearly identified. We talk about next actions all the time around here. It's an amazing, should have been common sense skill that I learned back in 2007 and 2008 from David Allen, author of Getting Things Done. So essentially, instead of just thinking of a huge project all in one chunk, you think of the next step you could do in 10 minutes or less. Now, until I have the next action truly identified, so I feel a lift when I think about it, because I think, oh, I could do that, I don't feel great about a project. In fact, when a nebulous project is just floating around in my head, like, I need to decorate some shelves for the background of our YouTube channel. That actually is a project I'm working on right now. But I would absolutely tend to procrastinate something like that because I'm not a decorator. That process feels stressful to me, and I'll just put it off forever until I get a simple next action figured out. So in my case right now with the shelves, I'm going to spend 10 minutes looking online for shelf decorating ideas, find some that I like, and then I'll write up a list of suggestions to share with our daughter. We have a college-age daughter who's helping me organize and decorate that whole YouTube background. She does all our videos and editing. It's so fun to work with her. But that little next action saying, let me just get online, maybe I'll go on Pinterest or I'll look at other people's shelves or whatever and just make a little list, that feels doable. That way I'm not just trying to find something else to do other than decorate shelves. You know what I'm talking about. All right, and then criteria number 3 is that I don't have too much on my plate. And this also might sound obvious, but it doesn't matter how much I want to do a project or how clearly my next action is identified. If I have too much on my plate, I will not feel great about that project. Now, the tricky part here is that sometimes what we have on our plate is so hidden from our conscious minds that it takes some sleuthing to actually figure it out. But I'll have a link on the show notes page to a video we did recently. It's about like a 3-minute technique you can use to get out of overwhelm. And you can see how I created projects and then adjusted them so that they were accurate. But I'll just give an example about having too much on my plate and how it impacts a project. So I have this guitar that I got back in college. I took 2 semesters of guitar, and you would think I would be good at it, but I'm really not. And I would love to play the guitar because I have this dream of sitting out in the backyard around our little campfire and knowing, 50 songs that everyone likes to sing and just singing around the campfire. That's this little dream of mine. So I put as a current project, I don't know, it was a little while ago, but I wrote down, learn the guitar, right? Start taking my guitar lessons. I have just this book. And I bought the book and I'm ready to go and got the guitar and I got new strings and I've got the whole thing set up. But I never wanted to sit down and work on that guitar practice. I just didn't want to, and I never did. And so week after week after week, I'm watching practice 10 minutes guitar in my home category of my next actions list, and I never did it. And as I was thinking about it, I'm like, what is my problem? I want to play the guitar really badly. I know all I need to do is sit down for 10 minutes, and I've got the book right here. Like, there's no reason I should stop. But the problem is my mind just felt like there was too much going on, that playing the guitar just felt indulgent maybe. And so I didn't do it. But what's been so interesting is as I've adjusted my current projects list and made it a lot shorter, I've been playing the guitar almost every day, and I don't even have it on my list. Like, it's just something I do now because I feel like I have open space in my brain and in my heart and in my life. And so it's been so fun. I've been playing the piano and the guitar, and I've been reading, and I've just been calling my sisters and chatting on the phone. Anyway, it's been so great. So those are the 3 criteria that really have worked for me. There are a lot of different suggestions and ideas out there to help motivate us and get over procrastination. But if you just look at what you expect of yourself this month and say, take each project and ask, okay, am I doing this because I actually want to do it? Is the next action clearly identified? And do I have too much on my plate? And then make your assessment from there. I think that you will find you're going to feel a little bit lighter, more relaxed. Then your brain's going to open up. You'll be stopping by hotels in your area and looking at all the cards of fun things to do. It's going to be so great. All right. And then to close up today, I just want to share some celebrations from our steppers. I've mentioned before that our team member Candace has been going through our Facebook groups, and when people email in their celebrations, and she asks them if we can share them publicly with the whole Learn to Become community. And people are generally so willing to share their successes because they know how it feels to not know how to do this, and they want to be able to support you. So I had, 7 or something like that in my email, and I went through them and thought, I just need to feature them in the podcast. And then we have other ways we can share them on social media and things like that as well. But I'm just going to go through and share a few with you. But you need to come to the show notes page to see the pictures because it's the pictures that are so awesome. You can just feel how good they are. And sometimes it's just someone writes something. And so, not all of them have pictures. But this first one, this is just written. This is from Heather. She said, I just got the program, our STEP program, yesterday afternoon. Started right away in the evening, and I'm now about 20 hours after purchase in Module 4. Okay, so our new updated STEP program is quick and fast. Look at this. She's already Module 4, and there's only 6 modules. She said, early on in the course, I heard, you'll find money, and maybe enough to pay for the course. I had my doubts. I said, no way. Our family is run on such a tight budget, we don't have money hiding anywhere. Never do. I love that she's writing this. She said, I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at how she's saying it because I know it's coming. She said, there's always too much month at the end of our money. I know how that feels. She said, it's a nice thought, but I won't find anything. Well, I'm eating crow. I still don't think I'll find enough to pay for the course, but I found an envelope of cash I was looking for a few weeks ago and a gift card that I had forgotten about. It's only $35 total right now, enough to cover the purchase I had to make to get my Command Central started. She calls it El Centro. But I feel so very foolish. Sorry, I just can't abide Command Central and it's mine, so I'm making it mine. She's calling it El Centro instead of Command Central. And I love that she's making it hers because if you don't like the word Command Central, that is fine. You can call it whatever you want. Sunshine Central, someone calls it. Someone else calls it My Brain. Anyway, I love it. She goes, thank you for giving me the motivation to get started, the direction to focus my efforts, and helping me get going. So I love that, Heather. I'm so happy for you. And the thing is, even if you don't find more money, I believe 100% you're going to find more energy, more ideas, ways to save money, ways to earn money, ways to make finances just feel less stressful. Because I get it. We had times where we weren't even going to Taco Bell because we just didn't have any extra funds. And getting the Command Central in place, starting to figure things out, no late fees, everything was bought in advance. I could bulk sale. All the things, the skills that it opened were huge. So just sending a little bit of encouragement there because you are off to an amazing start. And I'm so excited about El Centro. I hope you'll hang a little sombrero near it or something like that to make it extra happy. Okay, next one is sent in by Shelly. She said, "Look what I've finally done. Woo, hoo, hoo." And she has a photo of her Command Central. She said, "I'm still looking for a cute stadium file holder and maybe a bulletin board of sorts, and still need to get hanging file folders, but it feels so good to have this in my happy, peaceful space. I finally ordered the stuff and assembled it this weekend, and now just to learn the system and work it." So she's got the whole Command Central put together. It looks a lot like mine. I was looking at it thinking, oh my gosh, she's got this Command Central. It's going to just make such a difference, such an impact. So that was really fun to read. So way to go, Shelly. Super excited for you. Next is from Leslie. She has this beautiful photo that she's labeled with her Command Central. And she said, "Command Central done. My inbox is in a drawer next to my desktop, so I can close the drawer and it is protected from outside dumping." I love that. So it's her inbox, not the whole family's. Then she explains in the organizer and the folders, I have bills to pay. She has action support, waiting, tickler, projects, routines, all those things. She got a new planner, which has goals and monthly calendars and weekly review template and all of that. Her landing spot ready, someday incubation, freedom filer, all these parts. And she goes, "Here we go," which is amazing. Now, as I'm just kind of rattling all that off, if you're thinking, wait, what are all these parts of a Command Central? We have a post about they're 15 questions to ask that help you understand why you need all 15 parts of the Command Central. So I'll link to that on the show notes page. Or we have it as a podcast if you're just scrolling through podcasts. It's something like 15 to the point questions or something like that. Okay, but I love it, Leslie, and just seeing this Command Central ready. And the thing is, it's not because it's just an organized desk that's just going to end up with piles on it. No. Now you have an organized desk or space, but you have a system so you never have piles again. And that is what is amazing. This one is from Marcia, and she says, "I did it. I finished this step class. I have a Command Central. I have processed 2 weekly reviews. Gosh, they were fast. Not new paper clutter for 2 weeks. The house is free of random papers everywhere." And then she has all caps, "I am so excited." And then she adds, "I am moving through projects and watching them get checked off. I am blown away." And there's 3 exclamation marks after that. "Still not beautiful. I don't care right now because it works. I really didn't think I could learn this by myself. Yes, this works. If you keep going. Just keep swimming." I love it, Marcia. And I also just want to add a couple notes. When she said there's no new paper clutter for 2 weeks, the reason that doesn't happen anymore is she's learning the 2-minute rule just to handle things as they come in. She knows what to put in her inbox. She's doing her weekly reviews. So now you don't have stuff on every flat surface. And I am thrilled that she said, "Still not beautiful. I don't care right now," because it works. Because now we have a whole step in the program called function before fancy. And that's our little catchphrase. And that makes such a difference because if you can make something functional, great, you're going to have no papers, no stress. Listen to how excited she is. She's blown away. And she didn't need it beautiful. She didn't need the room painted. She didn't need everything redesigned and decorated. She has a system and it's working. So way to go, Marcia. So excited. Next is from Michelle. She says, "After a few fits and starts, I now have a fully functional Command Central. I'm just sitting down to do my weekly review." And then she has this awesome before and after where you see she's got the first photo is just a lot of stuff like boxes and kind of just some piles and just things. I don't know exactly what it is, but just a lot of boxes. And then the next photo, you see the Command Central. So the clutter is cleared, the desk is organized. It just looks beautiful. And I get so choked up watching all these because I'm seeing Command Centrals literally popping up all over the world. I wish I had one of those maps, a little pin in the map everywhere Command Central lives, because it's just amazing. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. So excited for you. And then the last one I'll share for today is from Betsy. It's her kitchen Command Central. She says, I did it. I found my Command Central location and I made it happen. This countertop in my kitchen area has been a catch-all for pretty much everything for ages. I can't say how great it feels to have it so clear and functional finally. And then you can just see the difference where the first one is pretty much how every counter in the world looks. That's how I grew up, was just throw everything on the counter. And then now she has it clear and she's got her boxes and her setup and she's just ready to go. So way to go, Betsy. Anyway, I just thought that as we were talking about feeling good about projects, that you would feel really motivated by the steppers who are building a system to make this easier. Now, can you feel great about your projects without a Command Central? Yes, of course. You don't have to have a Command Central in order to put boundaries on your time and energy and do the right things and live according to your values. There are lots of people doing that all over the world. But I will say, if you build El Centro or Sunshine Central or your Command Central, whatever you want to call it, and if you create a system that's just going to never require willpower, it's just going to run all the details behind the scenes, you're going to feel so great and you're going to be amazed and you'll say, oh my goodness, how did I not know that this level of calm existed? Especially for me, with my busy family, my busy life, my job, my activities, my things, everything I'm in charge of. You're finally going to feel calm. And so I invite you, if you're brand new, come to learndobecome.com/step. We have our free training, how to finally stop drowning in piles. And come to the show notes page, though, just to look at these pictures and see what your fellow community members are doing. Because it's one thing to hear me talk about this, where I've been doing this for, more than 15 years. It's another thing to watch someone who just came into the program, who built their Command Central, within a few days or weeks, and now they're getting results too, just right now, when they didn't have the system in place and they didn't have things all organized. So I really encourage you to come cheer them on. And if you have any other questions or comments or things you want to come share on the show notes page, we would love to read those as well. All right, loving you so much, sending huge hugs, and we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.